All right, we're back again with another episode of Roofer Reflections, and I'm excited to have Dan here. Dan, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
How'd you drop into the roofing industry?
It was unemployment. It was really bad economic times back in 75. And literally, as this is back to the days of newspaper, I would get the newspaper and start with the one ads and would go through the A's, automotive, whatever it was, B, baker, bricklayer, it didn't matter. I was just going and calling people and leaving my information if I could, and wasn't getting much in response. I even offered people to work for free for a week, and if you don't like me, then you don't have to pay me, and you don't have to hire me. But if you do, just hire me after the week. It was really desperate times. Yeah, so I got a call one day from a guy, and he said, "Hey, you called me about a roofing job?" And I said, "I live in an apartment. I don't care about the roof." He goes, "No, no, 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 about going to work." And called me in for an interview. I literally, this is how bad things were. I weighed 127 pounds at the time. So I put two sweaters underneath of a sweatshirt and tried to make myself look like I was stronger and bigger, but I couldn't hide my face. And at the end, I don't know why, he just decided to hire me. Something I said at the interview, he must have liked. I moved to the West Coast, started working for another company, and then I got elected as the head of the union, and I was that for a while, and also doing the apprenticeship. And then in 2000, 3 different locals got together, bought a facility, and decided we were going to do common training through all 3. And I was asked to be the director, and I've been that ever since.
How did it start, and what does it look like now?
To be honest with you, when I first started teaching back in 82, they asked me to be an instructor. This was in Stockton, California. I said, okay. And I said, but I don't know that I can do it. And they said, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. And I said, well, what do you have? What's the material? And they handed me 2 paperback books, the workbooks. One was stapled together and it said draft on the outside. And I said, okay, these aren't bad. Where's the curriculum? And they said, that is the curriculum. And I said, what do you mean this is the curriculum? This is not going to take very long at all. What do I do then? They said, talk about cars and fishing. Guys love to talk about cars and fishing. And I immediately thought, that's not why I'm here. And if that's what it's going to be, I'm not going to take this job. If I'm going to take this job, it's going to be real and it's going to be meaningful. I owe something to the people that are the apprentices that are coming through. I didn't get that when I started. I never went to apprenticeship school. I just learned on the job. It was difficult. So anything I could do to help them, I wanted to do it. Our budget is a little over $1 million a year. We have 4 instructors now. I'm looking at the end of my career. I'm already 70, and I'm going to work about another year and a half, probably part-time toward the end. I'm bringing somebody into my position. So now we're looking for another instructor, and we use a lot of material. We're always buying material, getting some donated, but we're very careful with donations because most of the time there's a catch with the donation. It's either about to, especially chemicals, they're either about to expire or expired, and we ended up having to get rid of them as hazardous material. But we run full classes. Most of the time we have 2 different classes going every week, occasionally 3. And then we bring in people from the outside, manufacturers, suppliers, and we let them do seminars here. They've done seminars for architects, engineers, specifiers on their product. But the caveat is, we say, we don't want you just selling your product. Give them something of value, some information that they have an understanding of why your product is what's your product. Where is it going? What is the purpose of it? How does it need to perform?
So in this program, what do people learn? Like, how is it broken up? Obviously there's certain materials, certain substrates, maybe the manufacturers are bringing in, but what's the core of the program?
The core of the program is to prepare them for what they're going to be doing on a daily basis to make a living, starting from the beginning. The beginning is a lot of safety. So where are you? How do you not get hurt or worse? how to lift, how to wear safety equipment, what's toxic, what's not toxic, how to read a SDS sheet, how to look it up on your phone if you don't have one, and then progresses into the different aspects of our trade. Waterproofing for us is below grade, could be 65 feet or more down in the ground, where everybody parks and expects it to be bone dry, and they don't want that flooded with your car parked down there. And a lot of mechanical equipment. How do you work there with artificial light and the ventilation and all this stuff that has to go into that, because you're not getting air movement like you would outside, how to work at heights. And then we go through different phases of products, different roofing products, from the single ply to, we still do hot rubber and hot asphalt. So we go through that, how to be safe, how to do it. And we supplement the training that they get on the job site. And that pretty much covers the first 2 years. We're a 4-year program. Then after that, we start preparing them for being leaders. We start dealing with the technology, with project management. We have them simulate a project, and they send in RFIs, requests for information. They send in change orders, and we respond to them. And a lot of this stuff, we're making it up because they're not really doing a job, but we just want to see how they react and how they know what to do. And then the instructors will play different roles. One will be their company superintendent, one will be the general contractor superintendent, maybe the supplier, and who does this information, where do you need to get it? And we go through that. We go through learning specs. With the learning of the specs, what we do is we have classes, we break it down for waterproofing, roofing, and they're broken into groups, and they're given a product. They have to research it. They have to write up a presentation, PowerPoint if they want to use PowerPoint, but they have to have some sort of visual. And then by the end of the week, because they come for a full week, by the end of the week, that group has to teach the other groups whatever their product was, so that we understand that they were able to gain from that how to learn about a new product, the process that's involved. Where do you get that information? Either the internet or manuals or calling factory reps or whoever you need to do to make sure that you're applying the product properly.
Yeah, for sure. And in this program, you said it's, there's 2 and then there's 4 years actually.
Yeah.
Do people, what's the time commitment? Do people have enough time to have another job, or inside the trades or outside? Like, what do people do?
All of the people that we have here are already working within the industry, and we break it up. They don't come 3 weeks in a row. We break it up. They come a week, and then 2.5, 3 months later, they come another week, and it's staggered with different groups. And we don't take too many from the same company because they still have to function. And then when they're not here, they're working in the field, unless it's raining or the economy's bad. And as long as the company has work, they are working. And then we give them a stipend for coming here, just really to cover their expenses of coming to class, because they're not working, and they are eligible, and we're in California, they are eligible to collect unemployment for the week that they're in class.
Got it. And how do people apply? Like, who's qualified, and how do they apply?
There's a couple of different ways you can apply. We are constantly going out to youth groups, people that sponsor youth groups. We have places here in California like City Build for disadvantaged children, whether it's economically disadvantaged or whatever it may be, where they give them some basic training, and they give them some safety stuff like first aid, CPR, and OSHA 10. We go there and we present ourselves to them, and they have our information, and sometimes people come from them. And then we give them a list of employers, and then an employer employs them, then they come back in and they're in the program. They also can go to the employer directly. And once the employer says, hey, I want to hire you, but you got to go register with the apprenticeship, they come and register with the apprenticeship.
You said you're nearing retirement. What do you think your legacy is?
My legacy is the students. I've been in training for so long. I can go to any one of our companies. I go in the office and I see former apprentices. I see them as estimators. I see them as superintendents. I see them as safety directors. project managers. And I'm thinking, wow, I had a little bit to do with that. The ones that I'm really impressed with are the ones who couldn't see themselves in that position at all when I first met them. I love challenging people to be the most that they can be. I always ask them, I tell them, I say, why are you telling yourself no? Why are you telling yourself I can't? If somebody else tells you that, just go back and learn how to do it and come back and prove to them that you can do it. But if you tell yourself you're the most influential person in your life, and if you say I can't, that's the truth. And you're going to live that way. What I feel really good about, it's, and every time I go into I always get a big hug from, somebody get up from behind their desk and come out and give me a big hug and handshake. That's what it's all about. And knowing that they are taking over the business that they once went to work for as someone who knew hardly anything at all about the industry. And that as the people who were in leadership back then, it allows them to retire and know that their legacy, their business that they created will continue on without them. When I first started, people were almost embarrassed to say they were a roofer. And people didn't even know what a waterproofer was. Now you can say it with pride. This is what I feed my family with. This is what I make a difference with in the world, because when you think about what's going to destroy a structure, and other than an earthquake or something catastrophic like that, or a fire, it's going to be water. That's the most common, water. It's going to come in through the roof, through the walls, through the basement. And we're the reason it doesn't, because we do our job correctly.